1, and wait until the intro's done. 3, 2, 1, now.
Hi there everyone, it's I, Hirisu here, and I'll be commentating with...
Hello, I am Topic, of course. As always, bit of a different group of commentators coming up for you, but we are back with our winners finals. We have a classic. Everyone knows them. Everyone mostly loves them. We have Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, and on the other side, we have NFT plus art robbers. Now, my question is, are they robbing NFTs plus art, or is it NFT art robbers? Which one is it?
I don't know. Yep. I mean, I'm going to assume it's art robbers and NFTs, is what they're implying, but... Yeah. Oh, okay, we have the maps. That is... Okay, we can see them. Okay. So we're starting off on Umami Ruins zones, which, feels like a pretty good start. Nothing too, like, favoring towards one comp style. You know, you can see a lot of different things here.
Yeah, I think mainly this is also one of my favorite Tetris pieces in the game, the Z-shaped Tetris piece. It's very good, but overall, this is a two-zone map, and as everyone knows, if you play on this map, you gotta get top mid. Get top mid, you're good to go, because if you get top mid, you have access to not only both zones, you have access to the enemy courts, you have access to silo, you have access to the ramp leading up to spawn. Not leading up to spawn, but leading up to their enemy's base. So if you get top mid, you're good as gold.
Oh damn, that's fast.
Yep. We're jumping right into it. We're gonna have Triggerfish zones in the green, it looks like, and then we're gonna have NFT art robbers in the purple. And as we see from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy is kind of what we expect from them. Kraken Mayor, of course, with the brush, Smork with the junior, just a very Triggerfish Zones comp.
Yeah, also no cooler on the side of Triggerfish Zones, which you don't see that often, but hey, it got him this far.
Yeah, they're not a team that usually runs cooler, and so far, it's been working for them outside of NFT Robbers, the Splat Roller, the vanilla one. Very, very good weapon, very underrated, with the use of bubble, kind of set yourself in space that's really gonna work, as you do see 1, 2 are gonna go down, 3 are gonna go down for Triggerfish on Supremacy, so even though they will get the first cap, now NFT Art Robbers with a chance to establish a hold of their own.
Yeah. Over here, now we're just gonna have to see how non-cooler handles here, where while they don't have cooler, they do have other specials which can help them get in, which we're seeing English. Yeah, anyways, here comes strikes, and it seems they're trying to make something happen, but the specials coming out from NFT robbers are slowing them down quite a lot.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what their specials can do. They have the strikes, they have the rollers, so they can't run in all willy-nilly. But there it is, the Kraken Mare whales are gonna get them in, and then Triggerfish Zones. What we've seen from them, they're really good at collapsing and taking those opportunities that they need. Because as you see, this is both zones just flipped in a millisecond. Though NFT art robbers are not gonna take that line down, just coming right back at it. That's Azuka gonna get one, and NFT art robbers with a chance here to try to just fight over zones.
Right, so yeah. God, there's just yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's just a lot happening.
Yeah, but so far, just it's been somewhat too like no team is exactly lopsided, which is, you know, not the standards. Because normally when I think of this map, I think of just you see teams trying to take up that side area, but most of the teams that have been whenever a team holds, they seem to be holding center because their team's not giving them time to go into that side area where you can really start like a really dangerous chokehold.
Yeah.
Unless we see someone on the side of Triggerfish Zones starting to move up and ink brush down already. And Random Bomb gets sword, so they're gonna get zone back, but they still have to wait a bit for their sword to come back.
Yeah, I think what really put the nail in Turkish Zone's push there was that they kind of overextended, and because remember, NFT art robbers, they do have a roller to work with, so you have to be super careful. But a Zipcaster playing a bit of Spider-Man, swinging around New York City, able to get a really nice pick there. And NFT art robbers again in a very dangerous spot for Turkish
Yeah.
Zones. They're really pushed up, but Pepe has something else to say about
Yeah.
that with the use of the Zuka. But one's gonna go
Yeah.
down, two's gonna go down,
That
and
bubble
that
is so
will
well
be a
placed.
wipeout.
Like, all that happened because, like, they couldn't go... Like, normally when you want to retake on that map, you want that right side. But that bubble that was placed right on top of that little block on the right side just kind of shuts down any option you have to go there. So you have to take the awkward middle route, which, you have some high ground in the middle, and then it's just pit. And that pit is a death zone. Because whoever goes in there is likely to die. Unless you're in the high ground. And, you know, bubble kind of forces your opponents to go into that spot instead of where they'd like to go. Which, yeah, we're seeing bubble from both sides, which, yeah, it's good.
I mean, yeah, that's just a Zones classic. Like, Bubble, especially on NFT art robbers, you want to talk about the roller. The use of Bubble just to get and keep them in a really good spot for them. And like you said, it kind of forces a lot of movement. And we saw at the very end there, Triggerfish Zone's supremacy, they were kind of forced to move into a really bad spot for them because they had to drop into pit. They had to try to go through that kind of middle side. And NFT art robbers, they had a roller sitting there. They took full advantage of it. They got the wipeouts, and NFT art robbers with a very good start. But can they get this momentum rolling as we go to game number 2, Scorch Gorge Clamblitz?
Go, we talked about bubbles, like, for zones. Clamblitz, dear god, they're even... Like, I'd argue Clamblitz is one of their best modes, because, like, either you could just completely hold your basket while the enemy's trying to push, because you're on bubble, or you can just sit in their basket with a power, or, like, underneath a bubble, and it can be really hard to stop that kind of push. Because it's just a giant fat HP bar that you have to rip through before you can even stop them from scoring in the first place.
Yeah, and I think with NFT art robbers, I think they're gonna try to use that a lot. Use the bubble, actually for both teams. Actually, use the bubble to get them in or get them in a really good spot. However, I think for Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, I think they're a little bit more adept at fighting bubbles because remember, Krakenmare still has those whales, and whale doesn't matter if you have a bubble; it can go shoot right through it. So we might see a bit of that action going on as we see no changes from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy on the side.
That's a T-Tech.
Yeah, there is a
I haven't seen that thing in a hot minute. Wait, hold up. No, there was a T. Never mind. No, wait, we see both types of ink brushes?
Yeah.
The ink brush nouveau is real?
Hey, it's a good weapon, especially here. You have the hammer, just kind of does make a really long choo-choo train really dangerous, kind of force your way
speaking of which, there it is.
Already gonna get one.
Yeah. We got both sides looking to start a fight, but nobody really wants to commit with players down. Never mind, Krakenmare's seeming to start something.
Yeah, it looks like both teams trying to feel each other out at the moment so far. Triggerfish Zones does have a lot of mid control because kind of what their comp kind of does. They do have Smork in the back just throwing bombs and just chucking some very dangerous areas that the enemy team not supposed to be around. But NFT art robbers though, they with the pencil, just that added range plus the addition of cooler just gives them a lot more flexibility to work with. I see Attic there just in the base of Triggerfish Zones doing what brushes love to do. Kraken Marathon's gonna shut that down super quickly.
Yeah. Got we have the machine moving up. Mewtwo already under their basket, building up perfect space for their teammate. And there you go. There's the bubble under basket. It's a bit hard to see behind the giant sphere, but I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. But as you can see, Triggerfish Zone's doing whatever they can right now, getting it down to 47 on their first push. That's a really good opening. We're about a little more than halfway through the game right now, and so far Triggerfish Zones has been really good at keeping NFT art robbers at bay. They really haven't allowed them to kind of capitalize on the picks that they got because they have been getting picks throughout the entire game. They've been getting the picks that they need. So they haven't really been able to really translate that into anything much, though that might change here as a lot of fights are going to NFT art robbers' favor.
Yeah. Got it. Like, that bubble could have been really good for holding off, but I mean, the bubble can only do so much when the person you're fighting is already in the bubble itself, and God, we're seeing a lot of great bombs, like, in a row. First in the bubble, next on the jump. Yeah.
Hey, it's there for a reason. You can spam for
Oh?
a reason, but Addict just runs straight through like there's no tomorrow. But NFT art robbers are trying to capitalize on it, not quite able to. They are kind of forced to back away because they just entered this kind of choke area and slow death pit. And unfortunately for them, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, they know what to do. They're able to just really, really quickly close that gap and not allow for any more damage.
Yeah, because one thing that we've been seeing about this game specifically is that, like, anytime they start going down, they don't give up that much extra space. They're like, okay, we're down, we're just going to back up, hold space, wait for teammates, and then, as a result, they don't end up losing that much space off failed interactions, and... God.
Yeah, not losing a lot of space. That's kind of the name of the game, is how much space can you not give up. Obviously, Mewtwo with a very, very nice 90 there to get a really good pick and get Triggerfish Zone Supremacy in a game. UC Addict is kind of stuck there. Smork with the bubbles going to be popped, and Triggerfish Zones is going to keep the dam opening, getting it down to 11. Smork with 3 clams in reserve, trying to get those in. They're going to go down. NFT Art Robbers, a very solid defense, but now they have 90 seconds remaining. Can they translate this? Can they get this momentum going? They have a couple of clams. They have 2 power clams, 7 more in reserve. Triggerfish Zone Supremacy is respawning though. Storm going to be the first one to score again, but the Nurse are not able to. The Zip Catcher is going to be popped. They get another ball in. Hold on. Smork's the last one remaining. We do see Stamper with a couple clams in reserve, going to get down to 20. Couple more clams to follow up. Sunny with the jump in's going to get camped. They're 1 clam away. There it is. NFT Art Robbers. You know what? Classic clam blitz. It happens. Just 1 push. They got from 80 to 0. You know, even through the solid defense of Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, it just 1 good opening, 1 bad stagger from Triggerfish Zones, and that's exactly what can happen to you.
Yeah. Especially on a map like this, where, like, the clams don't spawn that far away from your basket, so you have to make sure that all times you're not wiping, because 1 wipe at a really awkward time, it's like, well, all the clams just spawned, and nobody's defending basket, and that's kind of what we saw there, where the clams just kind of were all there at the right time. Not only that, but they were able to build the space really well using their specials, mainly the strike, which forced them out.
Yeah, and I think it's just being able or keeping Triggerfish Zone Supremacy staggered, because throughout most of that final push from NFT Art Robbers, you saw from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, they rarely had all 4 up. Hell, they really had all 3 up. It was always 1, 2 people going down, different members going down, and NFT Art Robbers really capitalized on that. You see here, through this final push, you see Smork, the last one remaining, they just kept the clams going. Yes, right here, they all respawn at the perfect moment. They stopped Sunny. However, it took 1 final member from NFT Art Robbers to get in, and just worked out in their favor. And so far, it's too early to call it, but NFT Art Robbers kind of looking for an easy 3-0 to move on to grand finals. But we've seen Triggerfish Zone Supremacy before. They know what we know what they can do. So will they be able to make this comeback, this reverse sweep possible, as we go to game number 3, Ink Blot Art Academy Tower Control?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm personally not expecting much changes from either side, but I mean, hey, you never know. Okay, it looks like where they're putting the ink brush away back on the roller and pencil for edit? Alright.
A bit more of a mobile option, especially for Tower. I've tried to get some coolers in a much more aggressive spot for their teammates, but as we see right now, Triggerfish Zones being the aggressors here, as they're the first ones to touch Tower. However, they gotta deal with NFC Art Robbers specials though, as the strikes, the GG strikes as they're usually called, able to stop that push before he even has a chance to start. And Triggerfish Zone Supremacy now, kind of a reminiscent of the second game, reminiscent of a little bit of deja vu, getting 3 down. Smork, the last member remaining. Now NFT Art Roberts in a good spot with the bubble on Tower to get through the first checkpoint rather uncontestedly.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we don't even, there's not even much specials up on Triggerfish Zones Supremacy's side. So it's just a matter of not only do they have to build up their players, they have to build up those specials without having too many people go down.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, we just saw Triggerfish Jones did go another three down, giving MC Art Robbers a chance to get closer to the second checkpoint. However, they're able to quickly rebuild themselves before any more damage can be done. Maybe have an opportunity here to get a push of their own, but Mewtwo going down is not what you want to see. Another one going down for Triggerfish Zones, a third one going down, going from bad to worse for them. Kraken Mare, the last one remaining on that right hand side, just forced to hide away. And I think this is the kind of the downsides of having no cooler. If you lose a couple of team fights, then it's really hard to keep that momentum going. Though here, a three down situation for them, this is what they've been needing for the game.
Yeah. Because at this point, like they have the ideal setup. They have one person top plat, one person right side, and one person center. Like if they hold this, they got it. As I say, as one of them goes down, and here come out the strikes. If they can survive these strikes with enough people alive, this push might be going the long run.
Yeah, they're already at that second checkpoint. The real chokehold for this map. They're able to break through. NFT Art Robbers just throwing bodies at the tower to try and stop it. Pepe's on tower. They're going to go down. Smork gets on tower to keep it going. Mewtwo staying alive, but the roller is going to shut that down. Kraken Mare is going to be the last one going down with a delayed wipe, but the damage has been done. And now it's up to NFT Art Robbers to prove that for those first two games weren't a fluke and make a very large comeback here.
God, we have Smork flanking on the left, and they all seem like they end up picking up someone else off who went to go help them. But yeah, we start seeing Triggerfish starting to just get positions, trying to build stuff, and one of them gets a stray pick with a bomb. Maybe we'll see them push up off this.
I mean, yeah, just trying to get those stray picks are really the catalyst for a lot of fights, actually, for any team, as Pepe is going to go down there, getting rid of the Zuka for the Mewtwo, however, able to get a really nice pick and to try to take away the resources from NFT Art Robbers. Kraken Mare trying to sneak around, they're able to get one, another one's gonna go down, three down for NFT Robbers, just the roller able to stop the tower and give their teammates a jump. So now, with about 90 seconds remaining, this is still in range for NFT Art Robbers. If they get a good rotation of specials going, keep someone on tower, if they're able to just keep winning team fights, they're able to build off that. Though unfortunately for them, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy just holding down the fort, not allowing them to get any more points on the board.
Yeah. A big thing here is also, like, we have Mewtwo separated off, and Mewtwo's gonna have to find a way out, which they're in the perfect position to do some mean things. Speaking of which, there's one. We might see some more coming up. No, it looks like they're going to opt to back out while they still can, and it looks like NFT Robbers have popped cooler, which means they're not going to have it for a good. They're not going to have a second cooler for a good while. And that being said, Roller already pushing up towards top plat, exactly where you want to be. Bubble being popped, strikes being popped. They really got to make these specials count because they're not going to have too many more opportunities. And there goes third special, and that's a wipe. They probably take check here by the time they respawn. Just a matter of, do they also get lead off this as well? They have one person right, one person watching top plat. And just a matter of, can they take tower in time?
I mean, that's what it looks like. But NFT Art Robbers, you see, the plat is painted all purple. They're able to take the lead. The members of Triggerfish Zones are falling like fish in a barrel. The roller getting a nice triple, a wipeout. Everyone's off the field. So that means Triggerfish Zones are not able to get on tower. And that will be NFT Art Robbers in a 3-0 sweep, moving on to grand finals. Triggerfish Zones, I feel like for those last two games, it came down to the last push. It came down to the last minute where it was just an unfortunate team fight that's kind of spiraled out of control, kind of snowballed out of their favor. Because for most of that game, it was Triggerfish Zones through and through. They were looking really dominant. They had a push to 27, but unfortunately for them, it was just they found one crack in the defense, and from there, NFT Art Robbers, they found the opening, took advantage, and eventually took the game in the set.
Yeah, because one of the big downsides of running cooler lists is very simply that you can't afford to have those big team fight losses. Whereas, like, if you're running cooler, you can just continue to team fight over and over again. And if it's cooler versus non-cooler, the cooler team just has to win one big team fight, whereas the non-cooler team has to continuously be winning those team fights. Because it only takes one bad team fight for the non-cooler team to not be able to recover in time. Especially when you pair cooler with something like bubble or something like strikes, which, well, they got both. And you can see just how powerful the combination of those three specials are when combined together. One gets your team back in time, the other two take ridiculous amounts of space in such little time.
I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game. It's to kind of combine the specials, use them to the fullest, and just go from there. But with that, that will be it for winners finals. But stay right there because in a little bit we're gonna have our losers semis on the way. So
Yo.
I'm sure you don't want to miss that. Everyone loves the redemption bracket. So we're gonna take a very quick break, but stay right there because we got more Prism Break coming up to you in a few minutes.
Now,
Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hello.
back. Alright, we have
Cool.
our loser semis set here. We have Pickup Culture as Fire versus Crocodile. I assume, yeah, these are both pickups. I don't know too much about anyone from Pickup Culture's Fire, but I know X-Ray used to be a Tetris, so maybe we'll be seeing that. Oh, and we're starting with Mako Zones. There are two ways Mako Zones goes. Either we're going to see normal comps, or we're going to see sliders. A lot of slider. And, I'm more a fan of the not slider route, but slider's also funny, so...
Yeah, I do think as a Dreadringer main myself, I do think Slider is the funny SD weapon. But overall, I do think Mako Mart is. Whenever I think Mako Mart, I think it's more geared for like buckets and blasters and like the kind of short range weapons. Those like fighting weapons, like your 52s, like your splash, because they can really move around a lot. They can take advantage of the height differences. They can take advantage of the movement options that we see.
Speaking of which, there's the blaster. And the 52.
There's Blaster 52, but other than that, these comps are pretty similar. Both of them have the pencil. Both of them have dualies, which is very interesting, especially the V dualies, since the ones with crab are kind of are used more nowadays. But it is a very interesting weapon. The major change from both sides is one is running a 52 and the other is running a blaster. Very different, but so far just a lot of fighting. What you expect from Mako Mart.
Yeah. No, we already have the 52 going in deep. Unfortunately, they go down, but I mean, hey, we're gonna see specials dropping left and right soon. First crab, bubble on the left of the crab too, and it looks like they're about to take zone. And roller seems to be going to set up. Maybe they're gonna hug left drops. It's that's a pretty common place. You'll see rollers whenever they're an advantage, especially because how good that thing is at holding this ledge here. That you can see it just kind of waiting for someone to make a bad move.
Yeah, but so far it's like pickup culture is able to identify that super quickly and deciding not to go that way. Instead, going from the left hand side, the splashdown's gonna isolate the 52. They're gonna be able to drop out of here. But so far, fights over mid. We do see the roller Ivy getting a trade into zone. Another one's going down. Picks are going down left and right, but pickup culture is able to recapture zone for even a second. So getting some penalty on to Crocodile is very, very important here. As so far, again, just a lot of fighting. We do see the dualies here for pickup culture trying to shark around this left hand side. They do have a crab at the ready, so if they can use that in a good spot, that could be really, really impactful for their team.
Yeah, they could use it, or maybe we're just gonna see them go for the flank, since as far as we know, they don't know where the dualies is. As I say that, the other dualies finds them, and they have to jump out because of the crab that popped right behind them. And off that one crab, they can all just collapse. And from this point, we're likely going to see a bunch of people just kind of moving in. And Pen already on one, but backing off safely. And God, the sword's going in. Sword seems to want blood today.
I mean, hey, that's kind of what swords do, but we do see Ivy managing to punish the sword, but not before pickup culture is able to get a large amount of their penalty gone.
Yeah. Yeah, Pencil's able to clean off 2 people here, and it looks like we're already moving very quickly into the setup phase of Lockout, which we should be seeing the Crab here anytime soon, especially with how good Crab is on right stack at holding that entire upper area that the enemy is going to be trying to recover from. And we see Roller on one of the drops, as you normally want to see a Roller when it's on your team, and at this point, Pickup Culture is just trying to find some opening, but they're kind of struggling pretty heavily.
Yeah, but so far 2 down. That's a good start. Gabe with the Zipcaster is fortunately gonna go back, but as we see right now, Crocodile's doing a really good job because they know what that's what Pencil does. It just sits there. It has a coloring pencil in hand, just drawing on the zone as you see right here. Able to just hold the zone X-ray, getting 1, getting 2, and with that it's be a lot harder for Pickup Culture to get anywhere close to zone. 1 more is gonna go down to put the cherry on top, and that will be game for Crocodile. But as we saw, that was very, very back and forth. Much like we saw in that first set, it really came down to who won the last team fight. And from what we saw, Crocodile, they just were the victors there.
Yeah, not only that, but Crocodile had a really good lockout phase. Like, they were able to keep the other team in base really well. And that's really important, especially on Mako, because like if you can hold, there's like 2 ways you can get in safely. And if you can hold down one of those sides, especially with the kind of weapons they had, the Blaster especially being so good at forcing you to take the path you don't want, then you can kind of just have a really good time locking them out if they don't have the special output. And when one of your weapons just can't output specials as quickly as the rest, then this lockouts can be pretty awkward to deal with on this map.
Yeah, and I just want to say, we pointed out earlier, Roller also kind of forced it forced the enemy team to kind of just go a different direction, because everyone knows, especially on Mako Mart, you're gonna have the Roller on that little ledge right under Snipe, so you gotta be very, very careful. But now, since we are in loser semis, this is a best of 3, so now Pickup Culture is on their last leg. But will they be able to fight back as we go to possibly one of the better one of the best, in quotations, best Rainmaker maps in the game, Undertow Spillway?
You say that. I like to call Undertow Spillway the gambling map. You have the safe route or you have the gambling route, which is right side. Right side can get you a really fast check and a lot of points quickly, but dear God, is it probably one of the riskiest routes in the entire game. If you catch all your opponents not respecting it and all going left, you get a free check, or you get like free to 27. But like, if not, then you could just insta-die because of how easy it is to defend that right side. However, if you do take the left side, it's a lot longer of a path that you have to take. And while it's a lot safer, it is a lot slower, and it gives the enemy more time to build up their defense. But I mean, hey, no reason to theorize. We can see right now for ourselves what they decide to do.
Yeah, looks like no changes for Pickup Culture.
Oh, there's a carbon.
Actually, there's a carbon, a bit quicker of a kill time. Of course, you gotta go with the Deco kit for the Instazuka. Maybe something will change, but we're gonna see both teams try to go for pop here, but really not, or try to get the space around the Rainmaker, which is really, really important. To see Ivy there at the bottom of your screen going for a really, really aggressive push. Unfortunately, they're gonna go down. That's gonna be 2 down for Crocodile. Pickup Culture in a very, very good spot to get some points on the board. Maybe electing it to take this left side, the much longer route. And so far, members are just dropping left and right for Crocodile. Pickup Culture able to get a very, very good push in the first 30 seconds, and they're not stopping anytime soon. X-Ray is gonna go down. Ivy is gonna pop the bubble, and that will be it. However, a flank is gonna get shut down again, and Crocodile able to play finally some good defense and just stop the knockout. But of course, this is Rainmaker, so even though that's a really good push, things can flip in an instant.
Yeah, especially on this map, because like all it takes is like 2 sets of good timed specials, and suddenly the entire game could just be from 0 to 100. And it looks like already the Blaster's going in and planning to start building up some space for his team ahead of time. And they're opting to take left again, which is very good because they already have their Blaster set up with the bubble, but unfortunately for them, there was a dually waiting for them behind the entire time.
Yeah, the flanks are really, really effective, and now we do see pickup culture able to at least get it out of the danger zone, get it away from the checkpoint. And now, if they can just keep Crocodile from breaking that first checkpoint, that gives them a lot of wiggle room, a lot of space to work with because now Crocodile, they're gonna have to break that first checkpoint to get something going. But Gabe here electing it to take it this right side, just get it in a really awkward position for Crocodile. So now it's about we're 3 minutes in or 2 minutes into the game, and we do see pickup culture a lot different than we saw in that first game. A lot more aggressive in their playstyle, just a lot more forceful of getting what they want to do. And so far, it's working out in their favor. X-Ray forced to pop Crab in return, or just to keep themselves safe. They're able to get the Rainmaker reset.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting for Rain here, but Carbon went for the flank instead of going for Pop, but it kind of cost them, as we have another person fighting in the corner. However, they go down as well, and suddenly we have a situation where there's another roller getting caught off on their own, just team fights breaking out.
A couple of fights are gonna come out. Crocodile electing it to take again this left hand side, a much safer path. And since they do still need to break that through that checkpoint, this might be the the right way to go, as they're able to break through the pencil from pickup culture, get a couple of pot shots, not able to get any confirmed kills. But now Crocodile in a really good spot. The path is gonna be cleared. There's the right. There's the bubble, and Crocodile getting it down to 9 points. I said it a little bit earlier, but this is Rainmaker. Things can flip in an instant, as Crocodile has now put all the pressure onto pickup culture.
Yeah, you may have Pencil, which is like one of the best weapons for stopping Rain, but Pencil can't really do anything if there's a giant bubble in the way. And even though Carbon was there to stop it, they just couldn't do it in time. And now we have like only a minute 20 left on the clock for pickup culture to reverse this game. And they have to do so if they want to stay in this tournament, because if things keep up, it's going to be Crocodile that moves on.
Yeah, but I would expect pickup culture to not go down without a fight. As you do see, they do have 2 specials at the ready. They did pop the cooler, so they can fight a bit more aggressively than they might do before. We do see the Crab is gonna be popped. They still have the Stamper's gonna go down. Very unfortunate. The Carbon trying to go in, not able to find any confirmed kills. Now they have less than a minute to go. There's the Zuka being popped. 1, 2, 3. No one's gonna fall down. One's gonna go down for Crocodile. And now pickup culture in a very good spot to try to get some points on the board. Gabe with the zip catcher trying to go for a bit of a flank. That's gonna run out. X-Ray though with the defensive Crab is gonna work, and that's kind of the problem taking it on this left side, is that if you're losing, you're at such a high disadvantage. You need to be so far up, or you need to get such a good flank, or you just need to get such good special usage that at this point it's just Crocodile can just hold on here. They don't really have to force anything.
Yeah, I mean, they got enough time in the Rainmaker to just kind of sit here for the rest of the game, and that was their last thing that could threaten them, because all X-Ray has to do is run back. Oh, but it looks like someone got through, and we still have a game on our hands. That's 2 down. Oh, that's a wipe. Yeah, this game's all gonna come down to this last team fight that's about to break out, and barely pickup culture falls 2 points away from tying, 3 points away from moving on this tourney. Though for Crocodile, they'll be moving on, but unfortunately for pickup culture, this is gonna be it for them.
Yeah, it just happened a little bit too late. If they had a second more, that would have been it. But yeah, that's why you can't sleep on Rainmaker, because anything can change at any instant. Because Crocodile, they went down at the absolute worst moment. The flank worked out so well in pickup culture's favor. It was just that members of Crocodile respawned way too fast. They were at the wrong moment. They got down to 7, but unfortunately for them, Crocodile able to hold on, able to move on to our losers finals.
Yeah, we also didn't talk about that as much as the set was going on, but pickup culture had their Stamper flank quite a lot on the right side, and it was giving them a lot of value. It's just it didn't end up being enough for this particular set, and yeah. Carbon also pulling off every single option available in its kit to make sure that the game is possible.
Yeah, and with that, that'll be it. Crocodile is gonna hold on and not have to go to game three as they're going to move on to our loser semis. But before we do that, we're gonna take another very quick break before we get back into it with our losers finals. So stay right there or grab a snack, but come right back because we got more Prison Break coming up to you in a little bit.
2, 1, now.
Well, everyone, welcome back. I hope you got your drinks, hope you got your snacks, because we are here with our losers finals. I am Topic. I'm joined by Hito, and we have a team we saw a little bit earlier. We have Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, and we have Crocodile. Hito, how you feeling about this?
I mean, we have obviously coolerless versus non-cooler, and I enjoyed the way Triggerfish played. Like, I'm especially biased as someone who plays Machine. I mean, I play the other one, but I mean, hey, Machine's Machine, and I'm always glad to see more of it, but I'm most excited to see how cool this is going to do, because you don't get to see it that often at higher levels, And it's always a treat to see how Coolest plays.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see how they're gonna adjust to it as we go to game number one. Possibly one of the most changed, or no, the most changed from Splatoon 1. Made it better after the update. We're gonna go to Mahi Resort Splat Zones. In this map, I think it really becomes a really good map once the water level drops because you just have a lot more space to work with.
Yeah. At least how I see that map. Like, the game really starts at the 50, at the moment someone gets 50 points, because you get a real map once that happens.
Yeah, and we're gonna see what happens from Crocodile, what we've seen earlier, and from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, a bit of a switch up, going with a cooler DRF, going over to the Tri-Slosher Nouvelle. So fizzies are going to be really useful for them, and then you got, of course, the cooler. That's going to be super useful for taking a lot more fights, as we do see X-Ray going for a quick pick on Mewtwo. But Triggerfish Zones, however, going to get the first Kappa Zone, 2 down on either side, so a lot of fighting that's going in Triggerfish Zone's favor.
Yeah. And even though it was 2 for 2, like, considering one of the weapons that was up was a pencil, the team that had the 2 weaker painting weapons is going to really struggle to get that zone. But as I say, we're getting back to more of a neutral state, and one big thing that's definitely going to affect this match is that the recent Fizzy changes, the Fizzies do paint less than they used to, but they are better at killing, so while they may be not as good at painting that zone, they might be able to get some extra picks that they weren't able to in the past.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we do see a fight going in the favor of Crocodile. The crab from X-Ray is going to keep them alive while baiting in the members of Triggerfish on Supremacy, as 3 are going to go down, and now Crocodile with a lot more space to work with, which is very useful for the rollers, since now you have just a lot of area to cover. You have a lot more entrances to watch if you Triggerfish on Supremacy, though. However, they don't really that doesn't really matter to them, as they're able to get a very quick 2 down and take control of zone and get a lot of space off of it.
Yeah. Yep. The V-shot trying to get a good flank, but that point sensor's really just going to call him out before they get that Zuka. And if that Zuka would have been a surprise from out of nowhere, then it could have been so much more scary, but that point sensor making it a lot more obvious where the Zuka's going to be coming from.
Yeah, but so far, Triggerfish Zone taking a lot of good fights, getting Crocodile another 2 down. We do see X-Ray with another crab. We do see the roller with a bubble at the ready. So if they can get into zone, that could be super dangerous. However, they're forced to pop this special a bit far back. The roller is the furthest up with the bubble. However, not able to get a lot of zone. A flank is going to get 1 down. It's just 3 down outside of Crocodile. Only X-Ray left on the duties. However, not able to really contest the zone. A jump is going to go down as well. 13 ticks left. That's another one going down. This staggered for a Crocodile will be deadly, and that will be game number 1 after a bit of a back and forth at the beginning. Triggerfish Zone Supremacy just kind of took over from there and just steamrolled over Crocodile.
Yeah, it's also especially big to note that, like, the V-shot inside of Triggerfish Zone Supremacy was really focusing down that pencil at the end game, and especially on a map like this, if you can isolate the pencil and you can handle it, it becomes really easy for your teammates to hold the zone. And this is especially important because if you haven't noticed, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy wasn't running a single special that was dedicated towards capping the zone itself. All their specials are just dedicated to either forcing the enemy to move or just outright killing them. So they really have to play more of that kill-focused neutral game when they want to get zoned.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they've kind of been known for. They're known for just trying to go as aggressive as possible, be in your face, and just kind of disorient you from there. And for the most part, it works. They just got a really good opening push, and then they just really fought back every time Crocodile tried to push back. But will this momentum continue, or Crocodile nip this in the bud as we go to game number 2, ship shape cargo tower control?
Yeah, ship shape is definitely a tower control map of all time. Most of the time when I see this map, I expect to see steamrolls after the second check, but who knows what could happen, especially because a lot of the time, the biggest hurdle is when you're on defense, you have to make sure the enemy team doesn't start taking up your top left. Because once they get up there, it can be really hard to take them out, but as long as either side can prevent the enemy from getting up there, then there shouldn't be any quick games here, but who knows? Maybe we'll see someone get up there, maybe not.
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle for either team is the very, very, very long trek between the first and second checkpoint that makes you go through the entire map from the far left to the far right. So that kind of allows the defending team to really kind of stop that before getting to second checkpoint. And once you get second checkpoint, it's really, really hard to get through. But as we can see from Crocodile, no changes from either side actually, so they feel comfortable. Well, actually, no, scratch that. There is one change. We are going to see the custom blaster, I believe, from Messica there. That's the only change, I believe.
No, it was custom blaster last game.
Oh, okay. Well, then no changes from either side.
I mean, hey, the game was close. Why make changes? Just play a little differently, and there you go. If you're confident in it, then just run it. And that's already Azuka coming out, but no picks being found. I say is 2 people drop, because who needs Zuko? And sometimes your main weapon's just enough to get the job done.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Trigger for Stones, Crocodile with a very, very quick response, just kind of encircling the tower and getting a push of their own started. But unfortunately, the pencil's gonna go down. That will put a nick in their plans, as we do see Messica there on tower, forced to go off. They're gonna go down extra in the core, forced to go back away. They have to be careful of the roller, though. They do have a bubble at the race. That'd be very, very dangerous. It is going to be popped right before the first checkpoint. However, if you're Trigger for Zones, you can kind of just fight right through it, as they do, as everybody get a 2-for-1 trade to try to keep the roller at bay. And so far, it's going to work out. No one's going to go down for Crocodile. The Zuka's going to come out, trying to get some picks, gets a lot of chip damage, though. And now Trigger for Zones in a very, very good spot. The pencil forced to jump out, and now Trigger for Zones, nothing but orange in front of him.
Yeah. God, they have a lot of people set up on that left side, and then pinning down Julius on the other side, and there's someone trying to get in the pit, the blaster, but unfortunately not able to successfully get the flank because they get called out on it. And Roller getting a nice flank, getting tower off, and at this point, just a matter of setting up your positions, and especially for Crocodile, making sure nobody goes down, because they're about to get so many specials online if they all stay alive.
Yeah, but the real question is if, and it looks like they will answer that with yes, they're able to stay alive. Mewtwo gonna go down to the pencil. That's very, very unfortunate for them, as Pepe is gonna be again forced to back away. Messica trying to at least clear some space. It is gonna work out in their favor. Now, Crocodile has 3 specials. They have the crab as being popped. They have the splashdown. They have the roller. Unfortunately, 2 of them are gonna go down from Flake. From DR, 3 is gonna go down. Another one's gonna go down. The jumper is in a very bad spot, and that will be a delayed wipeout in favor of Trigger for Stone. So now it's like nothing has changed at all. They're back in a good spot. They're again marching towards that second checkpoint.
Yeah. And one of the hard things on defense here is that even if you want to set up, you can't do so without the entire enemy team knowing, because Krakenmare popping Whale, which, yeah, it moves you, but also it gives the Whale user perfect information on exactly where you are, so you can't really do anything without the enemy knowing about it.
Yeah, and another big thing or big hurdle that's going to be for Triggerfish Jones is dealing with Messica, the Blaster, because as everyone knows, Blaster is very, very good on tower. Just being the kind of the barrier of entry if you want to get anywhere on towers. You do see again Pepe being the last member remaining on Triggerfish Zones as the members from Crocodile are gonna jump in, try to get something going, X-ray dipping and dodging around, able to at least stay alive for a little bit longer. Mewtwo with the machine and Kraken are gonna be able to get another one down again, leaving only the pencil. What we've seen, or what I've seen consistently from this, is that Triggerfish Jones has been consistently getting 3 down on Crocodile. However, they've been going down at a point where the tower is so far away from getting any more points. It's kind of hard for them to really capitalize on that until maybe just now.
Yeah, and even though Try just died, they just grabbed their cooler and we have a cooled up V shot on the top right. As I said earlier, it's really dangerous what happens when someone gets up there because of how easy it is to stay up there and how hard it is to get someone off. And now they have to deal with a bucket up there. Not only is it hard to get them off, that high ground is really advantageous for any bucket. And yeah, this kind of just happens where if you get someone on that top right, the tower has a tendency to just go from whatever it is to 0, not that long.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of the snowball. This kind of happens, the snowbally map. Once you break through that second checkpoint, you're so close to the goal that it might as well not be there, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so close because by the time you get to second checkpoint, you probably already have someone up on that top right side to play some defense. And then you're just kind of steamrolling through it, trying to get through that choke point as quick as possible. As you see right there, it took Triggerfish Jones a couple of tries, but eventually they were able to get through and break through second checkpoint and get to the goal.
Yeah, and what's so evil about this map is that second checkpoint is in the perfect spot where you have time to set up, alright, who do we want to go up in that top area? And once you've got everybody set up, by then the tower has a tendency to just move on. And now the enemy has to deal with people who are in really awkward spots to defend from. So not only do you have to use specials or other resources to get them off that, you also have to deal with the tower that's very, very close to KOing you.
Yeah, but here we go. Game number 3. Triggerfish Zones trying to look for a very, very quick and easy 3-0 heading to Museum D'Alfonsino Rainmaker. And whenever I think of this map mode, I think of the ramp. Because, believe it or not, a lot of games come down to who can control the ramp the most. Can the defending team defend their ramp better, or can the attacking team break through? Because this map can kind of come down to that little choke point area. Because if you're able to break through it, you're good as gold.
Personally, I think a lot about the spinner because a lot of team fights tend to break out around that spot. You have this really awkward cover you have to play around, but on top of that, it's just you have the upper area of the spinner, the lower area of the spinner, and there's just a tendency for a lot of fights to break out there purely because there's a checkpoint there and a lot of ways that the attacking team wants to break into the final check are required to go through that spot and take full advantage of it, but yee.
Yeah, as we do see Crocodile with a little bit of a switch going from the custom blaster over to the squeezer for a bit more range and the Zuka for a bit more of a forceful special. As we do see the roller gonna go down in a bit of a pincer. Mewtwo's gonna go down to the Rainmaker. Messica's gonna go down to the bucket. There's a lot of pandemonium as members going down left, right, and center. There's the Zuka from Pepe giving a freeway for Kraken to get the first checkpoint relatively uncontested. However, the members of Crocodile are going to be responding super quickly. It looks like that will be possibly the end of the first push, but Triggerfish Zones just setting the tone really early.
Yeah, and here we go, that big fighter on spinner that tends to happen after first check. Not only do you have to get them out, you have to deal with this really awkward terrain that really favors the attackers, at least until they move up.
Yeah, and this terrain's working out in their favor. Kraken managing to take it even further, twisting the knife a little bit more, getting it down to 22 against Crocodile. The defense has to step up here. Can they do it? That's a good start, getting one down. Pepe on that top left. Bazooka's gonna go down, but they're still going. DRF getting it down to 11 to see. Just testing Crocodile, see can they stop the defense, but right now it's like they're able to. X-Ray gonna go down to the Zuka by Mewtwo. Mewtwo staying alive, unfortunately not for long, but able to get another pip for going down. It's very useful, and that will be the end of the push. That was 90 seconds of Triggerfish Stones just proving their superiority, just getting it down to 11, and still, they're not done with the aggressive. They're still looking to get more points on the board.
Yeah, the push may be over, but they never really cleared out that spinner area, which means Triggerfish Zones can just walk right back in and do what they're about to do, which is just threaten yet another push. And even though they already have such a strong lead, every second this push continues, it's one less second that Crocodile can make their push.
Yeah, and if they can drop in a really awkward spot for Crocodile, that could be really, really useful. We do see X-Ray with the defensive crab trying to get the Rainmaker, able to get some pot shots on it, not able to confirm any kills. Pepe gonna go in, they're gonna go down, but not without getting a trade. Here, just again, wasting as much time as possible. DRF on that top left side on top of your screen, just being there, being a distraction in front of that pencil. Pepe jumping into the fray. They're gonna get a couple kick picks before going down. DRF's gonna go down, but not for popping the cooler, and that again will be the end of their second push technically, because Crocodile just getting the members of Triggerfish Zones out of their base. That's what they're trying to do, but Triggerfish Zones not going down without a fight. The roller gonna go down again. Pepe's gonna go down again. Just again, a lot of fighting, and it's been all condensed onto Crocodile's plat. Just taking away the space they have to work with and giving them a lot less room to build their specials.
Yeah, and also we see for the first time all game, Crocodile's finally taking mid back, which is very important, because if you're going to stop all this fighting, then yeah. But also, as I say this, Mewtwo already sharking on the side, Pencil in a very vulnerable position, and now they have to deal with a pincer. 3 people on one side, Machine in the back, and there you go. We're about to have the whole situation repeat itself all over again, back on the plat as if nothing happened, with only a minute 30 left for Crocodile to even put a single point on the board.
Yeah, talk about deja vu. Another Zuka coming out for Triggerfish Zones. They are just living rent-free on Crocodile's plat. They got the TV on, they got the fridge open, they got the AC all the way up there, just living there. When Crocodile not able to stop them, the roller, the last one left, they're gonna go down. Another delayed wipe for Crocodile. It's just been all Triggerfish Zones all game. They've been all gas, no break, just moving forward. We are 4 minutes into the game, a minute left to go, and it feels like Crocodile has been barely able to play the game. They're able to get 2 down on Triggerfish Zones, but it really becomes how much does that matter? Because we've seen them Triggerfish Zones go down again and again and again, but they just been back. They haven't really, or Crocodile hasn't been really able to capitalize on this.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds left, we have yet another center rain being popped, and there. And while Crocodile is the one with the specials up, it's just a matter of will it be enough to not only break through first check, but also get all the way to 10 points. But even then, there goes X-Ray's Crab from Zuka, which, for the longest time ever, Crab's kind of struggled to exist when Zuka is being aimed right at it.
Yeah, it looks like Crocodile able to get at least some points on the board, but nowhere near enough. They still have 77 points to go. There's their roller with the bubble, but it isn't gonna mean much as Triggerfish Zone supremacy, showing their supremacy in a very, very, again, very dominant game, as they didn't allow Crocodile to score until the last, like, 10 seconds. So with that, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy are gonna have the rematch they've probably wanted versus NFT Art Robbers in our grand finals after just dismantling Crocodile in that last game.
Yeah. Now the question that a lot of people are gonna be thinking is, are we gonna see Coolest again in that rematch, or is the Entry gonna come back? Because it looked like that Entry was doing a lot of favors for them, not only just in terms of Cooler, but Fizzy building space, and also just the Tri-Slosher. People don't talk about the main weapon, but that as much anymore, but that thing still produces very fast killing huge hitboxes, and the paint's not that bad too. Like, it's a pretty good weapon, and maybe we're gonna see it again in that our finals.
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe the Tri-Slosher was exactly what Triggerfish Zone Supremacy needed. But we're gonna have to wait for that as we take our final break, Prism break number 15, before we get into our grand. So stay right there. We got more coming up to you, but give us a couple minutes and we'll be right back.
Now.
Well, everyone, Welcome back. This is what you've been waiting for, the grudge match of our grand finals. We have Triggerfish Zone Supremacy looking to dethrone our number one seed, NFT Art Robbers. I am Topic, joined by Hito. Let's get right into it as we're going to go to game number one, Splat Zones Mako March. A bit of a retread here as we go back to the classics.
I mean, if I were to look at things like a service level, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy's got 2 bucket players if they decide to keep that end try up, so it looks pretty favorable for them. But I mean, we saw NFT Robbers did exceptionally well against them the first time around, but I mean, hey, things can change.
Yeah, we saw that in our winners finals that Triggerfish Zones always jumped on them early. However, they just couldn't go the distance for them as NTR Robbers kind of outlasted them. As we do see the double bucket will stay for Triggerfish Zones from the side of NFT Art Robbers, a wiper and a roller. A really interesting comp, very aggressive, very frontline, very fight heavy. They want to take these engagements to very fight heavy comps. Let's see who will come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, that wiper just recently got buffed, so I mean, hey, time to see it in action.
Yeah, let's see in action. We do see the Tri-Strike is going to be popped from NFT Art Robbers. They are able to get a lot of zone covered as they're going to force Triggerfish Zones back. DRF is going to go down to the roller. Roller's going to go down themselves. Pepe in another fight, they're going to get one. Storm's going to be forced out. And Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, again, not going down the fight. The roller getting a nice one. The hammer is going to be there. Just a lot of paint, a lot of picks going down into zone. Mewtwo barely staying alive. Wiper's going to get punished for that. And NFT Art Robbers are going to be the ones that lose that team fight as Triggerfish Zone's able to get a very quick lead here.
Yeah. Right now we have a lot of specials about to come in line. Whale getting popped, and at this point, just a matter of can they hold off? Because at this point, if they can stop these strikes, then they might go all the way and just push alone, which they managed to do. All they gotta do is get their members back to mid and get Pepe out of there because the V-Shot's really stuck in that corner as they go down.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of fighting. The roller with the mid-air flick, able to get rid of Kraken near the Thorn in their side with 2 specials at the ready. They have a chance to respond to whatever Triggerfish Zones might throw at them. Pepe gonna be found out. One's gonna go down for Triggerfish Zones. DRF here does have Cooler at the ready, so that is in play for them. They're gonna pop it, maybe a bit more of a team fight. Both teams are gonna pop Cooler, so we're expecting a lot of team fights. Kraken there just kind of sharking around here, doing what brushes do, trying to be hidden from them. But NFT Art Robbers taking the lead here. However, Triggerfish Zones are in striking distance. They do have specials at the ready. Mewtwo is gonna go down, not before Wiper is gonna get a trade out of it. Pepe forcing popping the Zuka, trying to get something going, but not a lot. As NFT Art Robbers, they just have a lot of paint that Triggerfish Zones has to work through.
Yeah. And not only that, but they had, just when they were about to get zoned, they popped strikes to make sure that it stayed in theirs, and from that point on, just NFT Robbers can kind of just hold it because their comp has a lot more paint if they're going to be playing that more paint-focused neutral game, which is kind of really hard to avoid when Pencil's on one of the sides, where Pencil can kind of just sit back, force you to kind of play for paint until you have your specials to handle it.
Yeah, because if you're playing neutral, especially against a Pencil, the Pencil does kind of dominate here. You can't really afford to play neutral with Pencil. You have to play aggressive.
Yeah, and it's just kind of unfortunate because if you can't force Pencil to fight you, then you have to either kill it by using specials or just use those zone painting specials, which Triggerfish Zone Supremacy doesn't really have, so they really have to opt for handling Pencil the old-fashioned way, which is sending it back to spawn.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to try to adapt here because they don't want this to go even worse against them. As we're gonna go back a bit of a recall here as we go to again another very hot and cold Rainmaker map, Undertow Spillway.
Yeah, we've also seen that like every single game these teams have played, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy starts off winning and then NFT Robbers proceeds to clean up the rest of the game not long after. So it's just we have seen that Triggerfish Zone Supremacy is capable of taking that lead. Just a matter of can they hold it.
Yeah, we've seen, especially last set, they have a really strong start and then they fizzle out. I think NFTR Robbers just throughout the course of the games kind of learn what they want to do and how they would capitalize on this. So if you're Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, I think your goal is to get or just get a knockout. If you get that early knockout, you get that early, you just keep swinging, you don't stop, then maybe you're able to stop NFTR Robbers from figuring you out and stop them from trying to build a counter push. If you just pounce on them early, and you're basically good to go.
Oh, and here we go. So that's going to be starting. I assume we're not going to be seeing anything new from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy. They seem really comfortable with what they're running. Just a matter of what the other team's going to be running.
Yeah, it looks like the only change for NFTR Robbers is going to be Storm going over to Azuka with that V-Shot. Other than that, both teams comfortable with what they got as Triggerfish Zones taking the first pop to get some initiative going, try to get the first real fight to go in their favor. However, they gotta be super careful because NTR Robbers, they do have Pencil, they do have Wiper, they do have Roller. They can punish any bad engagements that you see right there. Triggerfish Zone's going 2 down almost immediately. Kraken are able to make up for it, not without going down themselves.
Yeah. And even though we have 3 people up on Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, one of them is behind the entire fight. But that's Zuka preventing the entire push from happening in the first place.
Yeah, a bit of geometry for Pepe, able to stop that push in its tracks. No points going on the board for NFT Art Robbers, as we do see another trade going on. Just very, very back and forth. Triggerfish Zones, unfortunately, going to go another one down. There's the Roller, able to get another one, but not before the Rainmaker is going to reset. So now, NFT Art Robbers in a very, very good spot. They have Triggerfish Zones pushback. They have the more mobile cooler. They do have the heavy edit, so they can move a lot quicker with the cooler and just building it up. But Triggerfish Zones, again, they have a very short range, fast paced comp. They gotta be really, really careful of that.
Yeah, because even though NFT Robbers has the more balanced comp, all it takes is one good opening for Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, and that could be a lot of points on the board. Because once these kind of short range comps get in, it's pretty hard to get them out.
As we do see, again, just a lot of neutral. Triggerfish Zones has been kind of put at bay. They've been kind of not allowed to do what they want to do, as we do see Jump getting killed, and Pepe's gonna go down. Mewtwo able to barely stay alive, getting a kill onto Storm with the Zuka of their own. As Triggerfish Zones trying to push in with that, but the combination of the Roller and the Wiper has kind of made it really, really hard for Triggerfish Zones to get anywhere. It's been really hard for them to win team fights definitively, as we do see they're going to go 3 down. So now NFC Art Robbers, about halfway through the game, be the first ones on the board, but only going to get 1 point as Krakenmere just playing defense by themselves. They're going to get chased out. However, a flank from Mewtwo is going to get the Rainmaker, and NFT Art Robbers are going to be stopped at 98. Not a whole lot there.
Yeah. We went half the game and only 2 points, but something tells me this is going to quickly change because they got a lot of pain on the board. They got that bubble to secure 1 check, and it's just a matter of can Triggerfish Zone Supremacy recover in time to stop this from becoming even more points.
Yeah, looks like the answer will be no. The red carpet's gonna be laid out, but DRF and Krakenmere able to roll it back up before it gets any worse. And Triggerfish Zones are in a really, really tough position here, as they're gonna, Energy Art Robbers gonna take the Rainmaker again, getting it down to 3 on the cusp of the Rainmaker goal. But unfortunately, there will be stopped, and that will be the end of a push. But that one push took almost 3 minutes to get started, and now with how little time there is left, I would be surprised if Triggerfish Zones can really kind of flip this around in their favor.
I mean, hey, this is Rainmaker. Anything could happen. And speaking of which, that's 3 down, and 1 person chasing from behind. That's going to be check, but all they have to do now is convert, which they manage to deal with the guy behind. All they gotta do is clean up the front. But unfortunately, that's 3 down, and we're gonna be resetting this whole situation all over again.
Yeah, even though Triggerfish Stones got a really, really good start there, unfortunately, NFT Robbers, they're really good at capitalizing on that. They really pincered the members of Triggerfish Stones and put them in a bad spot and just allowed them to get that first checkpoint. But it really didn't change a whole lot because now Triggerfish Stones, they have a minute to go, 58 points to take the lead. However, they're going to try to start that now with a second push getting started. Unfortunately for them, Pepe is going to go down. Very unfortunate. Mewtwo with the Zuka not able to find any picks off of that. 45 seconds remaining for Triggerfish Zones to try to get something going. The members of NFT Art Robbers are kind of condensed into this left-hand corner or right-hand corner here. Pepe gonna go down again in the trade Krakenmere with the one with the Rainmaker trying to just clear out some space. That's gonna go 2 down, and there's the roller doing roller thing, just being there at the absolute worst times for Triggerfish Zones, forcing the Rainmaker to back up as Krakenmere. They need to at least do something here with only 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah. And they gotta hurry up quickly because not only do they have the overall timer as a worry, but they also have the Rainmaker timer itself. Because even if they get that overtime, they don't got much Rainmaker time left. And no matter what, this is gonna be the last push. So they need something to happen right now. Only five ticks left, and that is it. Yeah. If their Rainmaker timer wasn't so low, maybe they could have done something. But unfortunately, not only do you have to worry about your opponents in Rainmaker and also the overall timer. The Rainmaker is a timer of its own that you gotta handle, and if you take too long, you are just going to blow up.
Yeah, and I think what really killed it for Triggerfish Zones was their caution, to say the least, because they kind of kind of let the time run, I should say. They let the time run down really, really low to where they only had about 6 seconds of game time, only 8 seconds of Rainmaker time, so they didn't really have a lot to work with. And by the time you saw the overtime, you saw what happened, Krakenmere just had to make a quick decision to switch over to that right side. And since the NFT Art Robbers knew that they had to switch over, they were able to rotate over there and just kind of kill the Rainmaker's push boy before we got a chance to start.
Got also the big thing of just the entire game having nobody scoring until the halfway mark was not really that good for them either, because half that game was already done by the time someone scored, and it wasn't even them. So the amount of time they had after that first big push was really tight.
Yeah, but let's see, can NFT Art Robbers complete the double sweep of Triggerfish Stones, or will Triggerfish Stones bring this back to a closer set as we go to game number 3, our potential final game of the tourney, Clan Blitz on Scorch Gorge.
I mean, we've already seen these teams play here, and while Triggerfish Zones once again had a really good lead at the beginning, it was Art Robbers that ended up being the ones who got the win with one ridiculously good push. So all they have to do really is make sure that Art Robbers don't pull off something like that again. But we've seen that it's been pretty hard for them to stop that really strong push later in the game.
Yeah, for NFT Art Robbers are gonna go with the Stamper, and Addicts bringing out the Nouveau Stamper or Nouveau Ink Brush, so a bit of a hammer there again, trying to force a fighter first their way in. Pepe gonna be the first victim, unfortunately, but not before Addict's gonna go down in a trade. Actually, Art Robbers gonna go 2 down here, so maybe Triggerfish Stones an opportunity to try to get something going. But the question becomes, can they capitalize on this DRF in a good spot? They're gonna go down, so NFT Art Robbers are quickly reassembling themselves from a pretty bad opening from them.
Yeah. And here we are. We have the ink brush flanks as usual, and the 2 ink brushes trade, which is technically in Triggerfish Zone Supremacy's favor, because having an ink brush in your basket with holding 7 clams is not something you ever want.
Yeah, almost hit the solo queue classic, as we're going to see a bit of a mid-fight here. Pepe in a really bad spot. They're going to go down. And now NFT Art Robbers slowly creeping their way forward, slowly getting specials, slowly taking away the space from NFT Art Robbers to work with. As you do see, they're up to that ramp. Unfortunately for them, the defense from Triggerfish Zone is going to be a bit too much for them, as they're going to be forced to back all the way to mid.
Yeah, here we go. We have Stamp again, and we're likely just about to see a Stamp being popped from behind. Unfortunately for Stamp, doesn't get any picks, but At this point, we're gonna see Triggerfish start to retake mid, and we have them trying to focus someone in the corner. Krakenmare doesn't seem to notice though, and Stamper looks like it's gonna try to take advantage of the situation, getting one.
Yeah, looks like the Stamper is gonna get two before, but actually no, they're gonna get three. So a very, very good opening for NFT Art Robbers. They have the clamps to work with. They have a power at the ready. There it is. Addict's gonna be the first one to score and get a trade with Krakenmere. However, the follow up might be a bit underwhelming for them, only getting a couple more clans. However, they have more in reserve. Addict's gonna go down. The Stamper has two clans there. They're gonna go down, and that's to be a wipeout for Triggerfish Zones and for NFT Art Robbers. Not able to get it under 60, which is really the barrier you want to get under through your first push. And Triggerfish Zones able to quickly get on the enemy side here.
Yeah, and we're having an immediate counter push thanks to the brush being the one to score power, which we're kind of noticing that on both sides are kind of reliant on that brush to be the one to score, which, all fairness, that weapon is really fast, and if you're going to have one player dedicated to it, Ink Brush sure is a good weapon to have it score.
Yeah, and as you saw right there, Triggerfish Zone's able to take the lead by one clam. However, NFT Art Robbers not that far away. Only 4 points that are separating these two teams. There's Addict with the hammer, the choo-choo trains coming through. Unfortunately, it will be derailed before getting a lot of value out of it. And now Mewtwo and Pepe looking for a pick here. Pepe able to fall through the Stamper, able to come away with their life before going down to Krakenmare. And now with about a minute 50 left remaining, NFC Art Robbers are not gonna panic too much because they have a lot of clamps to work with. They have the pity clamp to work with. They have a lot of resources to get a really good push going.
Not only that, but they've got most of mid, and if you have mid, well, that's where the clams mostly spawn. And as long as you hold that, you hold the clam economy in your hands.
Yeah, they're gonna have the clam economy. Pepe with a nice flick of the Zuka gonna get to. Very unfortunate for MC Art Robbers, but thankfully for them, Addict just sneaking by them, getting a lot of clams and getting the lead actually for them. Hold on, and MC Art Robbers turned this into a really, really good spot for them, as now Triggerfish Zones are forced to back away, and with a minute remaining, it looks like the members of Triggerfish Zones are gonna go down one after another. Storm is gonna get a lot of damage on the Krakenmare. They're gonna get out with their life, and MC Art Robbers went from a really bad spot to the double to Pepe to having almost 20 clans in reserve as Addict's gonna go in again, but miss it. They're gonna miss to the far right.
Unironically, DRF saved that by being in the way, because if an Ink Brush does hit somebody while rolling, it gets pushed back, and if it weren't for that, they would have gotten the clam in. So I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that is going to mean that this game's going to continue on.
Yeah, but not for long, as NFT Art Robbers have killed the clan that Triggerfish Zones have. Now they have 20 seconds to build a power clam in to get a push going, but thankfully for them, they're not that far away. Only a couple points separating these two teams. That's not a good start, though, getting two down. Krakenmare with the flank. They're gonna go down, and that will be a wipeout. Addict will score the power, score a couple more clams, and that will put a nice little bow on the victory and that will be it. NFT Art Robbers will take the set in a sweep and will be your Prism Break 15 champions.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them win with such dominant fashion the first time these two played, and unfortunately for TZS, they couldn't get the follow-up they wanted. They couldn't get the comeback, or not, nor could they get the run back. But I mean, hey, both teams played pretty well. We saw some pretty back and forth situations, and even though that was a sweep, the games were pretty close up until the end of most games, in fact.
Yeah, because I think this also carried over from winners finals, where both of these teams were pretty close for a majority of the game. It was just at the very end. At the very, very end, it came down again to one bad team fight for Triggerfish Zone supremacy that went into NFT Art Robbers' favor, and they capitalized on that. They just kind of let the floodgates just burst through, and they just kept on scoring and scoring and scoring. And as you see here, a really bad fight turned into a wipeout for Triggerfish Zone and NFT Art Robbers. were in the right place at the right time. They had a power and they had a couple more clams, and that ended the game for them.
Yeah. And it's also crazy to see how much value both teams got off the ink brush in that last game, too. Like, both times they played here, both teams were relying on that ink brush. And it definitely wasn't just a fluke thing, because it was both times they played. And I'm pretty sure every single clam that scored between the two sets on this map was always the ink brush who was opening each push.
Yeah, and with that, that'll be it for our grand finals, and that will be it for this week's edition of Prism Break. But before we go, we have a couple of house cleaning things or housekeeping things to take care of. Guido, where can the people find you?
They can find me in multiple places. Mostly, if you're looking for me on Blue Sky, at Hitarisu. If you're looking for me on YouTube, Hitarisu as well. Any social media place, just look up Hitarisu. I'm probably there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As for me, you can find me over at the right there on both Twitter and Blue Sky at Topical2. Find me over on Discord at Topic2, and that will be it from us. Remember, vote for your maps because your input matters. That will determine the map list for our next Prism Break. And yeah, and that will be it from us. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, actually, no, before we go, I just want to say that because NFT Art Robbers did win this Prism Break, they will also get an invitational win to Proving Grounds, so that's also something more to look out for. And with that, that'll be it from us over at Under Pressure. Of course, thank you, Jorian, for running the stream. Thank you to all the TOs doing all the housekeeping in the background, and that'll be it. So, of course, have a good night, have a good tomorrow, have a good week, and as always, remember to never stop disturbing the peace.
You good?